perspective, what is interpersonal attraction?
Attraction, mostly romance.
Romance?
Yeah, like most I hear about it is romantic attractions.
I think of like sexual attraction. When you think a guy is hot, you're like, oh, he's hot. That's attraction.
I agree with that. And
But with a girl.
but
It means like I gotta be attracted to somebody. Like they have that beautiful look. This will be a beautiful girl. And yeah.
So it's romantic now. You think of romantic stuff
More
now?
romantic, yeah.
Attraction would be she has nice butt, nice boobs, nice face, good smile, tiny ears. She has to have those tiny ears, and a cute nose. No facial hair. I don't like that. It's not too good. And she has to know. She has to be funny.
When you, for example, when you try to pick out a friend or something, like, how do you know that you guys can be friends? Like, what are the characteristics?
Someone always being there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if I've known the person for a long time, it's just connection from the beginning.
When they understand you and
when you're able to talk to them for long periods of time and not feel bored when you're around them.
yeah.
You know.
And then when you have a silence, it's not awkward. It's just-
Exactly.
So no awkward silence.
It's just a normal silence.
Yeah.
What do you look at? Like,
Well, usually, like nowadays, it's just you find a friend, you go smoke a blunt, with a friend, and that's how you make friends nowadays. That's why you got like 1,000 plus Facebook friends, because everybody's smoking the trees, you know, the trees. That's what they call them. Yeah, that's fine.
A person I could have like a conversation with where it won't escalate into a debate. It could just be a straight conversation. It won't turn into an argument or turning into like someone saying something stupid that will end up hurting the friendship that will never start.
You need to be a real guy. Like no fake friends. Like no backstabbing. No guy talking behind another guy's back and shit. Say it to my face and shit. And that's it.
I think that that friends, like, do you think the opposites attract, for example, or do you think that, like, when a relationship, do you think opposites attract? Do you think it's more people that have similar interests?
To me, I find people with similar interests, but I've seen people like completely different, totally opposite, come together. So.
Opposites attract.
So it's all the way opposites attract?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, like.
Similar and opposites, because then it'll be boring. It'll be what? It's more funner if you guys are different, have some different views on things. And
So basically, like, drama.
yeah, that's what makes a relationship.
When, like, a girl's checking you out or when a guy's checking you out, like, how do you know that they're, like,
That they're
into
interested?
you? Yeah.
You could just tell. Like they're looking at you. They do eye signals. It's in. It's a go.
Okay, for me, they're like staring you down, like,
Creepy.
Okay.
Yeah. Just the way they look at it's about the eyes, because they could be looking at you and they could be thinking something else, but it's like their eyes to show you like, oh, I want you.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hello, Dr. Murphy. Thank you for taking this interview. I just wanted to ask you a few questions on interpersonal attraction.
Okay.
How would you define interpersonal attraction?
Wow. That's a tough question. I would define it as what brings us close to other people, right? Like what brings people together.
And I guess from personal experience or in an academic point of view, what would you, I guess, mention as causes or signs of attraction?
Well, I would say that the number one influence on attraction, at least as far as what the research says, is proximity, right? That the closer you are to somebody, the more likely you are to be attracted to them, because that's who you encounter all the time, right? And at least in my case, that's happened to be true as well. You know, my wife came out of a work relationship. We worked together, and we were close to each other through that work relationship. I would have never met her without having that relationship. So I would think that that's probably your number one influence. Now, in terms of causes of interpersonal attraction, it's very different for different people, right?
So
it's a very situational, cultural, contextual.
Case by case sort of basis, I'm assuming.
Sure.
An individual, such as like self-esteem or interests.
Certainly, self-esteem, interests, standards of beauty, all of that certainly plays a role.
What kind of attractions are there? Other, I guess, in different perspectives, other than just romance, platonic, but like sub-categorical, like attraction levels.
Well, there's certainly friendship relationships. There's certainly professional relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
What attracts you to a prospective employee, for instance, or a prospective coworker? I dare say we might even consider attraction in terms of relationships between human beings and animals. For instance, what attracts you to your particular pet? What attracts you to getting a snake versus getting a dog versus getting a bulldog versus getting a Labrador? Right? You know, very sort of interesting.
They say that you look like the pet, or
right.
Or you become, or they become, but you guys have a central look, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
I guess that would
they
be
say
similarity.
that of human beings too, right? That over time you start to look like your significant other. Or your friends. If you're friends for a very long time, you start to look like each other, you know, in the same way that, Magneto and Professor X look like each other on X-Men, right?
So I guess not only would we be attracted to similarity, but we also gravitate to becoming more similar to those we hang out with.
Yeah, we call it convergence, right? That we converge on what we find to be similar to us and what we like, right? People we like, we start to talk like. People we don't like, we avoid talking like them. We avoid the way they use language.
Even exposure.
Right. Yeah.
Run away from people.
You see it in high schools all over the country, right? Every clique has its own language system. You know, the cowboys speak very differently from the skateboarders, who speak very differently from the cheerleaders.